Right, let's move on to our third game because we're already well past half an hour, and that is Livingston 1, Dundee 4. Amadou Bakayoko gave the visitors the lead. Andrew Shinnie then missed a penalty. Livingston's missed penalties this season. Jesus, honestly, like your team's struggling so badly and you can't even score for 12 yards. That's just an absolute nightmare for them. Then McKay puts Dundee 2-0 up in the second half. McKay is then sent off. Livingston score a penalty through Teti Yengi. But then immediately, right for kickoff, Dundee score through Zach Robinson. And then Michael Mellon, the hero of the hour, caps off a terrific debut with a fourth. He had a goal, 2 assists. And I can see why Gary's optimistic, positive about Dundee's European chances. Because if Mellon can... I mean, you often see players coming in and they're excellent on their debut and then they don't look anything like that the rest of their entire career with one club. But if he could, if he's as good as advertised for this brief clip, a very kind of, it reminds me of Mika Bireth coming off the bench for, and it kind of, he also kind of reminds me of a similar type of player, maybe not as much power, but he's got a bit of power, a bit of mobility, and clearly has decent finishing ability as well. If they've got that type of player at Dens Park, then yeah, why would you not think that Dundee can maybe sneak in and get fifth?
Can I offer one caveat? Mm-hmm. It was Livingston Football Club.
Fair.
Yeah. Like, I think, no, I mean, I would say I would not look impressive out there, but I think I would maybe not have looked as bad as some other players on the.
You maybe play centre half for Livingston, it wouldn't have looked any worse.
I like to think that I would not have, like Penrice, just played the ball back into play when trying to make a clearance, like for the opening goal. I would like to think. I think I would be very meat and potatoes, and that is straight out for a corner. That's fine. That's a problem we can deal with after this. But. Yeah, dreadful. Let's talk about Dundee because that's more fun because who can be bothered now with David Martindale's like laments about finance and all that. But yeah, Dundee finally are stable and exciting, which must be there must be something. There must be some Dundee fans there must be
rumours today coming from a Liverpool fan with about 50,000 followers on Twitter saying that Owen Beck's coming back to Dundee. That's their source.
Literally,
it might not be happening.
It's literally a binary thing. Either he's come back to Dundee or he's stayed in Liverpool. So
to be fourth choice.
Yes, yeah.
So that would be excellent for them as well. If they can get him back, because they're missing. They've got issues at centre half with the players they've got out, and Dodgson again. Not looking like he might be the answer. Again, just such I called him
rash.
Yeah, I called him rash after the game against Hearts, and that's what he just continued to look like. Just a rash thing to do. And Newbley beat him a few times, and Livingston fans were like, oh, if that's Newbley coming back to his best with their game against Ross County on Tuesday night, if they win that, they're right back into the relegation battle. But it's maybe just Dodgson just being rubbish and just he's not seen Newbley before. Everybody else has seen Newbley before, and he's like, what does this guy do?
I suspect it's the latter.
Yeah.
Judging by that performance, and yeah, it would be. I mean, if they could get that Beck deal done before tomorrow night's game, that is suddenly feels like a momentum shifter, and it'd be a huge. If Dundee win against Aberdeen, I think we can start talking about Dundee as being not necessarily like top. I mean, it could be a top 6 challenger, not necessarily the real deal, but like it's a bizarre proposition for the first time in years to talk about centuries to talk about Dundee as a stable club making sensible decisions and doing things the right way. You're like, I'm not sure I like this.
Yeah, it's strange, very disconcerting. But if they get Beck back for the rest of the season, that's huge. But even this game, because it is, as you say, it's a big game in terms of kind of laying out the European credentials. And Beck coming back would give them a real shot in the arm going forward, because you saw it against Hearts when McKay went off not long in the second half as he's kind of started to feel his hamstring a little. And they will miss him for this game. Luke McCown's kind of, I think, flown under the radar as maybe one of the best players in the Scottish top flight this season, at the very least outside of the Old Firm. He was maybe the best player in the park at Amon Vale, but he's going to miss the next game for a daft red card. And it's so daft because he was lucky that he wasn't sent off right away.
Yeah.
Because the first challenge isn't a yellow, but he sarcastically claps the ref when the ref is showing him a yellow card. And it's like, I know a lot of refs don't like to do the whole thing of just booked you, so I'm just going to book you again immediately and then send you off.
I'd fucking love it if I was.
You've seen it happen, and it could have easily happened there.
Yeah, that's the only reason I'd ever get into reffing, is that double double yellow.
Get away.
Yeah.
I said the new one with the VR of like, oh, I'm not booking you anymore.
Yes.
But it's an head instead. But the thing for me though with Livingston, I would say I thought there was a little bit more of a sign of life from them in this game. I think defensively, as you said, a mess. But
I think that's the issue though, is that like they are showing a bit more signs of life, but the Livi before, and they've still got a lot of these guys in like midfield, like guys that have been there for a while as well, and they've got the ability to battle. And we've talked about Newbley and their problems up front this season, but the biggest problem is just that at the back they just give away so many cheap goals because their defenders are a shit. And their keepers are shit.
Well, because they brought McGovern in for this game, but I think stick with George. I know he's made mistakes, but McGovern's 39.
I think
and look, all those 39 years as they try to get down to that fourth goal.
Barely played a game in years as well. Like, it's not like someone who's been, consistently keeping himself warm, but so they're just. I think Livingston will beat Ross County. I think they'll.
Hope so.
I think they're just that.
Not just for the Derek Adams angle of it, just also for the fact it'd be good to have a proper kind of battle at the bottom.
I think there's just that there's been a result coming for them a wee bit in the sense that they're like, even though they got beat 4-1, I don't think it wasn't like they got battered in the whole game. Dundee deserved to win, absolutely.
And if they start scoring penalties, then they might finally get a victory. Yeah,
well, as you mentioned the Kelly and getting away with things like Kelly leaving points earlier. We got away with one there because they missed a penalty with Bruce Anderson, missed one like 5 minutes to go. They've left points because again, finally scored their second penalty when it was to go to 2-1, but that making it one each is a big difference to the game in terms of like the moment, whereas making it 2-1, you've still got a chance to get back in
if you don't do something really stupid immediately from kickoff.
But I actually think that first penalty, when I saw it the first time, I was like, how on earth is VR intervened to give that? But I hadn't actually realised the referee had given a free kick to begin with. And I think once you see that, it's like, the first touch on his back is definitely on the line.
Yeah.
But when does the touch become the foul? Because I don't obviously putting your hand on someone's back is not so it's a very tricky one to determine. I'm actually really surprised the fourth goal was allowed to stand, to be honest, if Bakayoko in an offside position, because it was given offside on the pitch and then Bakayoko definitely jumped over the ball. So if he's onside,
no, he didn't jump over the ball.
Oh, he jumped in the vicinity of the ball as the goalkeeper's going down. I think there was more. It was much more in that than the one which they had disallowed at Rugby
Was it
Park
not a kind of case of the fact because I think he was out, maybe even outside the width of the posts when he jumped over, like he didn't jump over it, like the ball was about 2 yards
to his right,
kind of inside, and he was outside of it. Had he been the other side when he was more central, he's maybe more in the goalie's vision, and then you could maybe say more. But he was kind of, I think he was a bit more peripheral.
I just think being that in that proximity to the ball and jumping like that, to me, when it's been given live as an offside, to me that, and I know that's probably why they sent the ref over, but to me, the one at Rugby Park last week was clearly a mistake, like, but there was no VR in that case. But for this one, I was surprised. I mean, it made no difference to the game. I thought when I saw it, I was like, all right, he must not have been in an offside position. But again, we're talking about a thing that doesn't matter.
Well, it was the third goal being given was when it went to VAR. I was like, well, when I saw it, I was like, and then knowing was, I was like, I kind of thought once it goes to VAR, I was like, I'm sure that's going to be ruled out. Like that sort of like, you're like,
wait, can't believe the third goal. But you mean VAR having a look at it? Because the ref wasn't sent over.
Yeah. Like because you were like, what is that different? When does a hand become a push? And what?
He also put his second hand on him, was it?
But again, the second hand was felt incidental, and I think Penrice was probably more off balance than anything. I mean, in the end, it was all academic and actually quite funny, but
stick with comedy. It was going to be funny.
Exactly.
You saying no, you don't get a good game on plastic pitches, but two high scoring games in the weekend. So
there you go. But it won't be
take that, haters.
They won't be in the top flight next season because Killie will get a grass pitch, Livingston will go down, Dundee will come up, nobody else will come up, and then they'll ban them. There's my prediction.
We'll see.